Hi, this is Ingar Grev, and this is a promotion for a series of articles I have coming out next week on June 10th in the Washington Business Journal BizBeat. And this is all about my interview with Dan Akerson, the CEO of General Motors. And this has been just a fantastic experience for me. And it all started about 2 months ago when I sat next to Dan at the Distinguished Graduate Awards dinner at the Naval Academy. Dan won the award last year, 2012. And every year there's a handful of Naval Academy graduates who win this award. And these people are all captains of industries. H. Ross Perot was a winner before, was one of our winners before. Ambassadors, admirals, generals. I mean, it's just these are all the legendary people who graduate from the Naval Academy. And it's really an awe-inspiring experience to go through that. I didn't go through it myself, but to sit there and listen to the folks who've done it. And so Dan and I sat next to each other at dinner, had a great conversation about leadership and the kind of people the Naval Academy puts out. And one thing led to another, and I asked him at the end if he'd be willing to allow me to interview him for my Washington Business Journal articles, and he said sure. And so within a couple of weeks, we had the interview scheduled, and what followed was a 90-minute long interview that was just a whirlwind for me. I typed my heart out trying to keep up with him and all the things he was talking about how he things that he's done and his approach to certain leadership issues or culture issues or transformation issues. And you're talking about a guy who was one of the largest shareholders at Carlyle Group before he went over to General Motors, and his experience is just tremendous. And so, and then Greg Martin, who is the executive director of communications for General Motors, has just been fantastic in terms of his follow-up with me. We've talked probably every week between the interview and now to fact check certain things, get some more details, fill in some of the blanks and some of the items that I need to get a little more details on. And it's just been from General Motors' willingness to help me out and understand, get some more answers from Dan, from Dan's graciousness to give me the interview. This has just been a great experience for me. So when you read the articles next week, you'll get just a lot of great insights from Dan about how to transform a business. No surprise that some of the biggest things there, actually the biggest things we talked about, were leadership and culture, and how important changing the culture is to changing a company. And I know from my own experience and as a strategic advisor that sometimes that culture idea is downplayed a lot by leaders. But I'll tell you, the best leaders in the world understand that. The culture is the difference between engaging in a meeting and engaging in product development and saying no to bad ideas or pushing back and helping create great ideas, or just going along for the ride. And and going along for the ride is something that GM had to deal with for a number of years. And so how do you change a culture? That's kind of stuff we talked about, and hopefully I fleshed out in enough detail in those 4 articles that are going to be coming out. We talked about HR issues, hiring, firing, promoting, recruiting, and also we talked about strategy. And I think that from my perspective, the things that you're going to get the biggest impact from are really the leadership and culture sections, and some interesting things about hiring. And the neat thing, for as far as I'm concerned, is that Dan didn't say anything new really in terms of concepts, right? When it comes to leadership, when it comes to strategy, when it comes to culture, these things are all pretty consistent. So a lot of lessons I learned from Dan are lessons I've learned over and over again just by interviewing CEOs, working with CEOs, going to the Naval Academy, being an officer in the Navy, or being a leader in the business world. So anyway, I'll wrap this up by saying I strongly recommend reading those articles next week. Again, if you follow me on Twitter or on LinkedIn or any of the social media stuff, or if you follow me or if you subscribe to any of my updates that I send out, you will get you'll get notified when the articles come out. And please read and share them with your friends, because they're going to be, I think, just a wonderful tool that you can use in your business or in your organization to help you transform what you're doing. All right, that's it. Thanks a lot for listening, and have a great evening. Bye.